Hallo zusammen, hier spricht Herr Professor Dr. Forster, making up for something I apparently forgot to do in class. Sorry. I talked about this in my 11 o'clock class, and I forgot to discuss it in the 1 o'clock class. What is the topic? Text illumination. What is text illumination? It is a way of demonstrating interaction with and or comprehension of a text. What? Don't we just answer questions that you ask? Well, that's one valid way of doing it. Then there are those curiosity worksheets that I'll be working up and showing you guys about. But text illumination is a way where you print something out and using a pen or pencil or various colored instruments, whatever you want, interact with it by writing on the page. Now, you can actually do this in a book too, but we don't have a book that we're going to be doing this with. We'll be doing it with things that we print out separately. So what do? You print out the text and then you start reading it, and you read it actively, and you're looking for things you understand, and that would be what I call comprehension. It's not just me. A lot of people call it that. So I want you to respond to parts of the text, and I'll show you an example in just a minute, demonstrating either comprehension, that is, you just read something and wow, I understand it. How do you express it? Don't translate it into English. Use a couple of words. I encourage German. You can use English. You can mix them up as you wish. Quick summary or a quick key that shows, aha, I get this. You can also do it by drawing a picture of what it is you understand. And I will encourage you to grow in your, stick person skills. That is, and we'll talk about this a little bit in class, about just quick icon-like things that show that you understand. Now, there's good research with brain learning, et cetera, that shows that opening up these different avenues of expression and thinking helps solidify these connections. So it's actually a great way to remember stuff by doing it. Right? So the three things that I would ask you to look for is demonstrate comprehension. Maybe there's a half sentence that you had to work on for a couple of minutes and now I got it, and you can summarize it simply for yourself in a couple of words or with a drawing or two. Show connections. Maybe it has something to do with things we've talked about in class, like Nachhaltigkeit, perhaps, or other things. Or it connects to another text, or it connects to something that you knew already or an experience that you had. Show connections. And these should be written in a way that's meaningful to you and that I, as an outside reader, have a pretty good chance of understanding. So don't make it secret code. Make it something other people could pick up and go, yeah, that's kind of cool. I get the connection. And third is, what question might there be that arises from a paragraph or something that you understood? Eine interessante Frage. And that, remember, I hope I've talked about this. You can demonstrate your intelligence in an academic setting by asking good questions. That's the coin of the realm in academic circles. Knowing answers is great. If some professor asks a question and you know it, that's outstanding. But asking a good question will stop the show at a conference. I've been at academic conferences. The expert presenter presents. Somebody raises their hand and asks a question. Everyone goes, whoa, that's an insightful question. And it's almost like a little intellectual jujitsu going back and forth. So we don't want to do that, but it does show that you're following what's going on if you have a good question. This takes practice. This is part of being at a college. It's not going to come right away. I want to work on that in this class when we have text illumination activities. Now, I'm pulling out some samples of text illumination from a course I co-taught with a Latin teacher last year about fascism, Nazism, and a Roman historian. It was a really cool class. Here, the students were responding with text illumination. You see, not everything is marked up. Here is a question. This was a pretty simple question. The German Empire. The student said, look, I read over that, but instead of just reading away and going, I wonder what that is, they actually ask a question, and I encourage them to go look it up and figure out what it is. So that's one thing. So you could, if this were you, underline German Empire, you've looked it up, and you put a 3-word summary in the note what that is. And there's like, I see this person doesn't speak German. So they have it right here, and they had to go look it up. This one is only okay. They identified the name, but they didn't make a comment about it. And what I don't want is just underlining things, because underlining doesn't mean anything. Like, there's no connection, there's no question, there's no demonstration comprehension, just penmanship, really. And so that's of no use. Now, here we go. Nice little picture. They're talking about Germanen. And I'm going to be offering this class next year with my colleague Branton Beck. You might want to take this. And so they're talking about the beer, and then they drew a little thing of beer to show. Now, is that intellectually satisfying? No, but it's fun, and it's going to help them remember this beer connection that's going on here. And then, see, we had the mirror aspect of there, so they drew a picture of a mirror. That's nice interaction with the text. You'll find that it helps you do comprehension of it. So for us, let's practice. We've not talked about it. If we were to have the class live, it'd be a lot easier to show you these things. You're just going to have to do this. Let's take a look at the second person. This person did not use as many pictures. They used more of the summaries, etc. And some people think more verbally. The verbal people I'll push to try to express themselves pictorially as well, and vice versa. So this one was pretty good. They had some good questions, and we're showing it's a lot like just hyped up notes in the text, but not silly responses, not underlining or highlighting, actually interacting with it and showing comprehension or connections or questions. Here's our third one. It's a pretty nice mix using boxes. There is some underlining, but as long as you call it out what it is, that's okay. Here we underlined and had a question. There's that question we talked about. Here was talking about sanctuary, and they just drew a little sanctuary to show they understood it from Kohlrausch. These things help remember. Here, something leads to truth. So they're using some directional arrows, that sort of thing. So have fun. I put a time limit on it so you don't get too carried away. And then take photos of it and upload it, and be ready to talk in class about how you mark the text up. Because we're going to want to have these available. I have to think about how we do that, to have these available to actually show to each other in class via screen sharing.